Hey guys, as I alluded to in the intro to the last video, this is kind of just a different format than I'm going to be doing. I mentioned in a channel update that came out, a few weeks ago that I'm going to start just doing different formats of video just to kind of bulk up my arsenal, help differentiate things a little bit. No set schedule for anything yet, just they'll come out as I feel like it. So you might get like, if you get 3 ecology videos in a row, don't worry, those plant spotlights are still coming out, and vice versa. If you get, 2 plant spotlight videos in a row, or a spotlight and an extra like this, or, any combination, I'm just doing them as they're convenient for now. Channel doesn't have that big of a following. I'm not really that stressed out about it. I'm trying to keep this fun. I've already, as I said again, last intro, just recorded so much stuff already this year, and I still have like probably 6 or 7 videos from last season to put together and put out that are all, pretty interesting, actually. At least I think so. So anyway, anything, pertaining to perhaps my garden. I'm growing some native plants this year. Anything pertaining to geology, which is something that I'm trying to get more into. Maybe even mycology, but no promises there. I'll definitely do some gardening and some geology stuff this summer, but no promises on the mycology stuff. So this video is about basalt formations, or basalt exposures, I should say, in the Ossipee Mountains in New Hampshire. I kind of act like I just didn't know what I was looking at. Rest assured, these are actually basalt exposures I later confirmed. You'll see a pretty funny thing, or a pretty interesting thing that I edited in there, where I literally come across the exact same like boulder that a geologist dude had photographed at the same site. I'll put a link to his website down in the description, and it'll have a lot more good information about this spot and about what's going on here. So anyway, if this video is not something you want to see, I included a few plants in it towards the middle part, which is fine. I won't hurt my feelings if you skip out on this one. This is just because I had this footage. I didn't think it was good enough to put in an ecology video. I didn't really think it was that relevant, but it was also too interesting for me not to, do something with it. So I think that's enough of an intro. Here you go. I'll just present it for you now. So unless I'm crazy or completely wrong, I think I've stumbled across some basalt columns here. Of course, there's also rhyolite. There's also plutonic granite. I mean, most of the rock around here is plutonic granite. Of course, you also get a ton of schist and gneiss, which are metamorphic rocks, not igneous rocks. Those are metamorphic rocks, just rocks that are cooked underground, and igneous rocks being rocks that are volcanic. Intrusive igneous rocks like granite cool underground very, very slowly. Extrusive igneous rocks like basalt, this is in fact basalt, are up on the surface, extruded out, and cool comparatively quickly. And I mean, these are breaking apart like I read basalt is supposed to. I'm admittedly not the best to talk to about geology, but I'm going to go up this little formation here. Essentially, what would be happening here, if this is in fact basalt, is this cools down relatively quickly. And as it does that, the rock gets kind of shocked, and it can just shear off in these regular sort of column formations. Typically, you'd see them stacked a little bit more neatly, but keep in mind, this is 123 million years ago that this rock was being formed, regardless of whether or not it's basalt or granite, I believe. So we'll take a look around here. We'll see if we can see anything more specific, but this might be it. This might have at one point been a lava flow, coming down the side of the mountain. I looked at the Rocked app. It said that I should be on plutonic granite right now, but also around me there are a few different observations of basalt. So who knows? I'm not really that familiar with this app. I could be talking out my ass. Someone more informed on rocks or geology in general, I guess, could come and tell me if I'm looking at basalt or rhyolite or just more granite or whatever. So we'll see. Either way, I'm just about up near the summit. I'm going to hike around here for a little bit. The summit's right around the corner from here. And we'll just see what's going on. I'm going to look up there a little bit, and I'll see if that is a little bit more clear on what we're looking at. I mean, you really don't do. Excuse me. You really don't have to know much about rocks to know what those pores mean. I mean, we're looking at volcanic rock here. We're looking at some sort of extrusive igneous rock. I just don't know what else it could be. You know, the pores form as the rock cools, gets the little gas bubbles in it. I would make a pretty sensible wager to say that that's definitely extrusive igneous. You get this this cool moss growing everywhere. And I mean, this appears to be, I'm a little bit farther up, I was down there. This appears to be what all those columns were sheathing out of. Man, I feel stupid and underprepared. I should have done way more homework about this, but you know, what are you gonna do? This is how you learn stuff. After all, how else are you gonna learn? How else are you gonna learn something new without just, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone and actually, oh geez, I don't know, looking at it? What, are you afraid to be wrong? I'm not afraid to be wrong. I'm guessing that this is some sort of, you know, extrusive igneous rock that I'm standing on. I really just don't know what else it could be. This looks nothing to me like a granite. And it's pretty nice up here, man. It's pretty damn nice. I'm gonna look around a little bit more. I'll let you know if I see anything else cool. But I mean, I think that we found a ancient lava flow. If it's not basalt, I can only imagine this is some sort of other type of extrusive igneous rock. This was I believe maybe a lava flow here, maybe basalt, maybe some other extrusive igneous rock. I'm kind of out of my depth here. If this was plants, you know, I could at least go and rely on my knowledge of what family it is, something to that nature, but I'm flying blind here. Cool area though. I mean, I can tell that the geology, it's different than what you normally see. It is different. So those pores in that rock though seem to be a dead giveaway for everybody I've ever heard talk about extrusive igneous rock. They're mentioning those pores there. All right, let's keep going. I don't believe you get that at all with intrusive igneous rock. I think it's under too much pressure, has too much time to cool down, and those pores, instead of being open like that, instead they fill with other minerals. If I'm understanding the process correctly. I really wish I knew what kind of lichen or moss. I think it's a lichen. I really wish I knew what that was. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different lichens and mosses here. If it was a little bit higher up, you'd probably have diapensia growing in this outcrop, but I mean, we're only at 2,100 feet here. You'd need to double that at least to start getting into you know, diapensia and some of those other, you know, Minuartia groenlandica, some of those other alpine plants. A lot of oaks up here. You know, we're really not that high up. You know, there are trailheads that start higher than this, but we are pretty significantly higher than the surrounding area. Worth note, you can't really see, but directly across from us, there's a much smaller, I believe also volcanic formation, the Berkshire Mountains, which don't get that much, which are also a pretty low mountain low mountain range even for New Hampshire. I mean, the Ossipee Mountains, this tops out just under 3,000 feet, but it's a very prominent mountain range and area. So even though it's only 3,000 feet, it's less than half the elevation of Mount Washington. It's much more prominent over the surrounding area. I mean, it's all lowlands around here, just pine barrens and marshes and glacial lakes. All right, I'm putting this down again. This isn't the summit. I gotta go back and kind of, I think I got off trail a little bit because I was kind of just following this exposure here. But we'll figure out where we're at and we'll get back to what we were doing. Maybe I can find a real good example of that columnar basalt. I know it's around here somewhere. I saw a picture of it posted. I just got to figure out where it is. It's here somewhere. Rock just showing you little patches of basalt in this area, but I don't think the whole thing, it doesn't seem like it's very precise. It's kind of just blobs. But again, this is my first day using that app. Yeah, all right, I'll cut it off here. Okay, we're up here on the summit. I guess at one point they used to have an observation tower here. What we're looking out across is the Ossipee Mountains, kind of just in the center of it. Can't really see behind us too well. You can get some spruce trees up here. I'll look around. I'll see if I can find some fir trees, some balsam fir.
I believe we're at an altitude of just over 2,200 feet. It's kind of nice up here. There's not really any people. And the rock formation I'm standing on now, it, you know, looking a little bit different than what we were standing on. Who's to say? Maybe this is granite. But, okay. You know, whatever. We're learning. We're all just learning. Okay? Don't be a jerk. Let people be wrong. I think I came into this a bit underprepared. I'm not afraid to say it. You get some, what is this? Is that mountain ash or is that a Sambucus racemosa? I can't tell. Can never tell. You know? It's in the same family. Actually, wait, is it? No, sorbus is in a different family. What am I talking about? You come down over here. Screw it. I'll worry about that after. Come down over here. What do we see? You know, this ain't the White Mountains. It's not. Part of the same formation. I think that's Mount Shaw right there. I think that's the peak of this whole range. I think. Could be wrong. But it's got that three sort of hump. I'm used to seeing it from about 35 miles that way, from 500 feet. Could be. Might also be over there. I don't know. But again, this whole range only tops out at about 3,000 feet. We're at about 2,200 feet. Got nothing else to really say for right now. I'm just gonna poke around on the summit here, see what I can see, eat a sandwich, and then get the hell off of this. Hopefully we can make good time back down. No clue how long it took me to get up here. I didn't time, maybe 2.5 hours. So maybe I can get down in an hour and a half. Man, I gotta get more into geology. I really do. Poke around here for a little bit, see what I can see. Off in the distance there is the lands from whence we came earlier today in Maine. Actually, no, that would be north. Maine would be that way. That's due north. You know. It is cool up here. All right, I'm gonna screw off for a little bit here. You know, the longer I look at it, the more that I can see it might not be the most perfectly formed in the world. But are these cracks forming because of weathering? Or was this, you know, the skin of magma that stopped here and solidified? It's just, I just don't know. It's supposed to be pentagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pentagonal. A lot of them are. I just, you know, it's here. I know it's here somewhere. Point is, we got to hike up a 125-year-old stratovolcano today. Or I shouldn't say that, the remnants of it. How I believe it actually works is that there was a stratovolcano here, subsequently worn down, and then this, which is the volcanic ring dike complex, is actually uplifted from underneath it. I think that that's actually more true to form what's going on there. I gotta study geology more, man. It's as simple as that. I just gotta look more into it. But I mean, if you told me that this was a magma flow that cooled, and as it cooled quickly, I mean, these aren't deep. These aren't deep fractures like you get when it, look at, no, man, come on. That's basalt. Look at that. It's gotta be. That dark color, that's not granite. Look how nicely that chipped off too. That's not granite. No minerals in it. New Hampshire granite's got a ton of, I mean, I shouldn't, again, I'm talking out my ass. You know, it's probably a lot darker if you look underneath. Yeah, look. If you look at what's fracturing off, I'm just stupid. This is 100% some sort of extrusive igneous rock. I bet you scrape away at this, you break off a chunk of it, and in fact, you can see it Yeah, this might not be. That's got some stuff forming in it. You know, when it cools slower, as I understand it, the faster something cools, you think of like an obsidian, that's almost like glass, right? And you think of something that cools slowly, like a granite. You know, there's no pore. I don't know. There's not. It doesn't seem to be pores in obsidian. It just seems like glass. And in granite, it seems like there's a lot of pores because it's cooling slow. Yeah, I found some pieces of this. That's pitch. That's like almost pitch black when it's wet, where it's weathered away. I think this is as close as we're gonna get. What do you think it was like in the Cretaceous? That was just about when flowering plants showed up on the scene, 120, 125 million years ago. Of course, there's some people who think that flowering plants showed up later. We don't actually know. It's a little bit of a mystery, not only when flowering plants really showed up, but also what they directly evolved from. Conifers and angiosperms, so I shouldn't say conifers, I'm sorry, gymnosperms and angiosperms. I've been corrected numerous times recently. A little bit of plant history lesson here before we close this out. I'm going to show you what I think is Solidago macrophylla on the way out. We'll take a second. We'll go look at some stuff on the way out. Maybe. Of course, I'm going to lose the light if I fuck around up here too long. So I've heard and I was told by some jackass. My parents are is he even a family friend? Some adult when I was a kid told me, oh, flowers evolved from conifers, which is complete horseshit. They share a common ancestor. One didn't evolve from the other. You know, it's like the whole thing with oh, humans evolved from chimps. No, fuckwit, we shared a common ancestor. So angiosperms and gymnosperms, and again, gymnosperms not a monophyletic group as far as I know. You can go down a wormhole. They go back and forth on it. I'm not gonna go into it right now, but basically all you gotta know is they've technically been around a bit longer, or they've been unchanged a bit longer. Angiosperms, flowering plants, arrive on the scene about 125 million years ago, according to the fossil record. Of course, they can do something, I don't know how they do it. They do dating on the DNA, or I'll put the term down below, but they can do something with the DNA, all right, to really get a better idea of the age of something. And they apparently that came back that plants might be a little bit older than we thought they were. Might also be bullshit. But where was it going with this? So I mean, anyway, yeah. What do you think it was like 125 million years ago in New Hampshire? Probably mostly conifers, some flowering plants. What was it like? I mean, they think this volcano that was here was about 8,000 feet taller than it currently is, about 10,000 feet. It was probably pretty cool, you know? The White Mountains were being uplifted, 60 miles to the north as the crow flies. This was a volcano, and then you had, you got more plutonic granite over there. So pluton is basically just, that's intrusive. I mean, I guess it could be metamorphic. I don't know. Basically, a rock that was underground, a big, massive rock underground that gets forced up. That's pluton. Most of the White Mountains are plutonic granite. I mean, that's a misnomer. Some of the White Mountains are plutonic granite. You certainly have a ton of it. After all, it's the granites that you also get schist and gneiss, which are metamorphic rocks. So also, formed underground, but those have been, they started off as one thing, and then through heat and pressure, they were converted to what they currently are. They didn't cool out of magma into their current state. I'm probably butchering this, whereas granite actually cooled underground very slowly and has remained largely unchanged and was uplifted. And then, I mean, dude, come on, just give it to me. This is some sort of, if it's not basalt, it might be rhyolite. There's another one, selenite, I don't know. I think this is some sort of extrusive igneous. I think this cooled on the surface. This was some sort of magma flow coming down here. And it cooled much, much quicker. Still probably took, thousands of years to cool down. Cooled much quicker than the surrounding rock. And as a result, it's just got this kind of jacked up texture. I don't think this is weather fracturing. I think that this is much older. I'm sure that as the waters run through it over the years, it's widened it out. But I mean, I've seen like cracks and, you know, granite and other types of rock where it's just really deep and fissured. And I mean, some of them do go deep, don't get me wrong. But I mean, like, look at this. And it's in such regular intervals too. It's not that perfect column formation that we were looking for, but it's really got my head turning and my brain's whirring and gears going. And then just look what comes out of it when it does fracture. Like I said, even if I'm wrong, it's here, man. It's here. I mean, I know it's here. It's in the bedrock record for the area. All right, we'll go take a look at Solidago macrophylla, and then you know, we'll get out of here. No doubt that there's multiple types of weathering here, but please, for the love of God, somebody that knows about rocks, dig me out of this one. I'm going to be reading all about it this winter, but for right now, you know, I spent all day climbing up here. Not all day, I spent part of the afternoon climbing up here. Really, this trail was quite pleasant, but I'm rambling at this point. All right, this is going to be a long-ass video, isn't it? I split the day in two, but this video, I saw a lot of shit. No campanula up here, though. Whatever. Yeah, we saw a lobelia. It's Campanulaceae. So, whatever. We'll say we did see a campanulid. All right. I think that's all I got. I'll stop by when I find Solidago macrophylla, and that'll be it for today. Sorry, excuse me. I hate to harp on it, but I mean, you just saw the formations over there. Look what this is doing. Completely different pattern. And this is what's exfoliating out of it. Look at all the shit in there. Looks way more like granite. Might be granite. I think it is granite. I mean, Rock actually says that this is granite here. Says that over there was granite too, but it's much lighter. It's got all those you know, minerals in there. Here, see, I have a, when ran back over there, I picked up another piece. Just compare the two of them. That's what's exfoliating out of that over there. That's what's exfoliating out of this over here. I don't think that's the same rock, my friend. I don't think that's the same rock at all. All right, man. All right, man. I think I'm just botanied out for today. Thinking about rocks, thinking about plants. This isn't Solidago macrophylla. This might be definitely a Solidago, don't get me wrong, but I mean, so is this over here. This is a different plant. Oh geez, what did I just kick? Oh, I thought I kicked them. You know, you get a species of Solidago here, distinct from that one back there. And then you get a species of Solidago here, distinct from either of those. God, this is what I mean when I tell people, I'm like, you can really, really go crazy with Asteraceae if you want. But all right, I'm shutting it down for today, man. I need a medicinal cheeseburger and a medicinal beer. I'm gonna try and cut across and see something really quick, and if that ends up not being anything, well, whatever, we tried. All right, peace out. Okay, so I consulted Rock again for the millionth time. So what I was looking at up there, it might not have been basalt doing the perfect columns, but it could have been rhyolite, which is also, as far as I understand, also I think an extrusive igneous rock. So some type of lava flow. I got to do more reading about this. I'll come out and do this again. I talk it up so much in this video. I'll just put a disclaimer at the beginning. I don't know what I'm talking about, but what I did see, obviously we've seen plenty of Epiphagus today. Member of the Orobanchaceae. You got another member of the Orobanchaceae, Conophalis americana here. Well past flowering, done for the year, but still hanging out here. This is the one I was talking about earlier. You know, they use a not nice word to describe it. I guess it's a slur for Native Americans, something root. I'll let you look it up. You look it up, but people still call it that. I prefer to use the scientific name, Conophalis also called bear corn or cancer root, which I guess cancer root's an appropriate name because it does act as a cancer upon the roots of beech and oak trees. And what do we have in front of us but beech and oaks? And what does Epiphagus virginiana parasitize but beech trees? Man, I'm about to just jog down this mountain, man. It's been a great day, don't get me wrong. They got good shit up here in the Ossipee Mountains, man. Not nearly as busy as the White Mountains. Geology is a little bit more going on, I think, up here. Ooh, I gotta stop opening my mouth about geology. I really just don't know enough about it to be yammering on about it. I'll tell you about plants, but I mean, like I said, we're all. I'm hoping you're watching this channel so that we can learn together. You can tell me about the cool stuff that you've got going on. I'll tell you about the cool stuff I got going on, and together, God forbid, we'll just become better, smarter people. Maybe. You know, I'm sure some people might be offended by that. Yeah, look at more Saldago. I can't be fucked right now. I'm done. I'm burnt out. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy this. I might have cut this up into 2 parts. So just know that this video, the video that came before this, and maybe even the video that came before that were all shot the same day. I've been at this since I left my house at like 7:30, and I've been botanizing since like 9:30, and it's almost 6 right now. God, I almost put in a solid work day. But I don't always hike 7. I gotta hike, 7 miles back out, or however many miles it was to get up in here. Luckily, it's mostly flat. This is a very, very forgiving terrain. Yet another reason to come hike in this area, or don't. I don't really care. I do care. I want you to come. I want you to come out. I'm not one of those people that's like, gonna discourage people from coming out to my favorite spots. I think that's pretty dweebish and dorky. I think that you got to, you got to make a little bit of space for other people. Other people are not necessarily always the enemy. I think that most people, given the benefit of the doubt, or most people just taught properly, given compassion, you have to raise a human being. I used to work with little girls. I worked for a Girls Inc. I used to be really pessimistic and bitter. I am still pessimistic, but I'm pessimistic and I think I'm realistic. If you are drinking yourself into a coma every night, which I kind of wish I could do, but I can't because you can't do that. You've got a problem, and it's okay to have problems. It's okay to have setbacks. It's okay to, just specifically talking about addiction, I guess, relapse and have issues. It's okay to, have mental health issues. I've got a therapist. I see a therapist right now. I just think that, most people are flawed individuals. This is, I'll put again, I can't be fucked. We've been seeing this all day, up in the mountain. It's been everywhere. Is it Eurybia or is it Onoclea? It's something kind of cool. It's a world white aster, something is the common name. I've seen this before. I already have one up on iNet. I'll put the scientific name there, but again, I said I was going to show you one more plant. Technically, we just looked at 5 because we saw 3 different species of Solidago, and then that Orobancaceae. Lots of Orobancaceae, which I loved. Don't get me wrong. But before this gets weird, I'm generally willing to give people the benefit of the doubt because there have been times where I really could use the benefit of the doubt. I've said stupid things. I've done stupid things. I'm still a flawed person. I'm still young. Still learning. So please, for the love of God, tell me what kind of rocks I was looking at today, because I realized I was way in over my head, man. Oh, yeah. Let's get off of this. God, even for New Hampshire, this is more of a hill than a mountain. Let's get off this thing. There's a good couple of. I mean, if I really had to, I could crap. My parents got a, I technically actually worked and lived around Lake Winnipesaukee for a while. My parents got a place. They're trying to, I don't know, move up here full time or whatever. But yeah, so 3 big takeaways there. Orban Casey is freaking cool. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't assume everybody's just inherently evil. I think people can be taught. I've seen kids, you know, go from being kind of little shitheels to being upstanding citizens. I've seen grown adults do the same thing. It just takes a firm, unrelenting hand to guide them. And then ultimately, that's kind of what it is that, you know, how, ooh, there's a viburnum lantanoides, everybody. Hub bush. Love this plant. The berries on there. Really nice. Kind of want to take some of that and plant it as seed, but, you know, I don't have anything to put those in right now. Yeah, how much effort are you willing to put in? That's the question. It's changing someone's shitty behavior. I think the answer for a lot of people is not that much effort, and I don't really blame them, because that's not really your job. And the third takeaway is that rocks are a little bit harder to figure out than plants, I think. So, we'll cut it off there. This will probably be the end of the second half of what would ultimately just be a video that's probably close to 45 minutes. I tried doing those a little bit. If you go way back, I get some real awful videos. But, oh God, yeah, don't watch those. I'm incorrect most of the time, and I was filming those back basically in New England winter, and unless you're looking at oh geez, what is it? Crocanthemum. Yeah, we've got a 1 or 2 native crocuses that come up, you know, pretty early in the winter. March is still winter here. I mean, you still get snow in April. You still get snow. We were still dealing with snow at the end of May. You know, up in the mountains. But I mean, that's not up in the mountains. That's down near the seacoast for the most part. You know, crocuses are coming up early. You can go look at simple Carpus foetidus as early as like late February too. Right in literally the middle of winter, that guy's starting to come out. And then every once in a while, you get a nice sunny patch where there's no snow. You can see dandelions come up. They'll come up, you know, pretty quickly as soon as it warms up a little bit for them. But, God, I'm really just rambling on this one. We can cut it off. We can leave it. You know, I'm pretty sure this is one of the pictures that guy sent, that get posted. It was this exact one. It was a birch posted over. I think he's a geologist, too. No way. He said it was a birch perched over basalt. So I'll take his word for it. I'm going to put the, you know, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to put the little picture, you know, zoom over. I'll put it right here next to it, and we'll see if that's the same picture, because this might be the chunk of basalt that he was pointing out, and I walk right by this already. How to lose your mind 101. Take up a casual interest in geology. I mean, I lost my mind taking up a casual interest in plants, but I had already read several textbooks about the subject all the way back by April. And then I just basically put the knowledge I already had to use. This is me where I would have been if you were asking me about plants, you know, 2 summers ago, when I only had a casual interest in it. I didn't really know what I was talking about. But now, I mean, I would say I know definitely more than the average person. The average person doesn't even know. Oh, some nice mushrooms. Mycology's up there too. That's. I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole right now. I'm trying to get some basic geology, because the geology up here is worth knowing. But yeah, we're all learning together. It's the main takeaway. Or the third of several main takeaways. Did I need to get something off my chest? Maybe I needed to get something off my chest by talking, because no one can stop me when I'm just talking to my phone. I'm gonna run out of storage again, but that's okay, because we're done. If you're still watching at this point, just know that I really appreciate you. I hope that if you live in New England, or you live, maybe you live upstate New York, which is going to have a similar, you know, really similar habitats to this, especially, you know, you get up there, the Catskills, Adirondacks, gotta be pretty close to this. Maybe nothing like, well, I guess you do have, you guys get Liatris nova anglii, so what we were looking at a couple videos ago. You guys do get that, so would make sense if you were, you know, looking at a habitat similar to that, but certainly this sort of woody, hilly, mountainy sort of terrain. Yeah, I encourage you to reach out to me if you know you've got something cool growing in your area. You want me to come take a look at it? I mean, we're winding down, really. I've got enough videos to make. If I'm only doing them bi-weekly, which is all I really have time for right now, both to film them and to edit them, because editing them is a whole other, it takes like, you know, it'll take me, oh, it smells great down here. It'll take me, you know, 3 or 4 hours to edit. Yeah, it's basically my whole night, you know, if I come home after work and I get other stuff I do music, you know, little autobiographical section here, because we might as well put it in. Just, man, this was an important summer. This interest has been stewing in me for 2 years, since pretty much the start of the pandemic, which, I mean, God, was that technically almost 3 years ago now? It will be in February, so 2.5 years ago. You know, I started watching some videos on it. Shout out Crime Paste, Botany Doesn't. Shout out In Defense of Plants. Even a shout out to Self-Sufficient Me, even though that's not even ecology. That's just a guy gardening. Got into that too. You know, trying to do more of that. Trying to merge the two together. I would like to garden with native plants, but it also, you know, I like growing vegetables too. I like growing herbs and shit like that. Yeah, I mean, this was important. This was a really cool summer. This is my home state, New Hampshire. We were earlier today in Maine, the state I was born in. And I lived and worked 20 minutes from this trailhead for like 4 years. I didn't know any of this shit was growing up here. I knew that, I just thought that this was an extinct volcano. I didn't know the nuance behind exactly the geologic formation, anything like that, what was growing up here. I've never even been up here. This is my first, I have actually. I drove up over to the, they get the, you know, that historic site over there. I've been to that, you know, checked out the old houses they got over there. And, yeah, it's worth doing, guys. It's going to change your entire perspective. I've been anxious as hell all week. Even going out to look at plants on like Monday, I went out to look. Nothing was growing. It was hot. It was miserable. Today, I've seen so much stuff going off. You know, you learn a little bit. You challenge yourself. That's what it is. You got to challenge yourself. I'll put a warning at the beginning of this. I don't think I'm going to take it out, but I'll put a little warning. It's just like warning, pontification ahead. Seeing 3 plants in Orban Casey, it was actually, I wasn't excited. I was like, oh, maybe we'll see like an epiphagus going. We'll see an epiphagus, but it probably won't be going off because they never are. And then the things are just growing into little bushes all up and down the side of this mountain. Yeah, the beech trees are kind of the dominant. Beech trees, and I guess you got oaks too, are kind of the dominant two things growing here. This isn't coniferous like the White Mountains are, where you get up. I mean, you get birches too, birches, hemlocks, and then of course you get up there, it's all red and black spruce, and then of course balsam fir, one of my favorite trees. Oh man. Yeah, I'll put a warning before this. You don't have to watch all this, you know. But yeah, shout out to those YouTube channels. I can't imagine. Lobelia too. That's not lobelia. That's, I don't know. Probably Annapolis. I don't know. I'm done looking at those for today. That guy from Crime Paste Botany Doesn't. I'm really not trying to. I'm trying to riff on what he does. Really, just with the whole, you know, out in the field, just talking to people, talking you through what's going on. Giving context. I don't like how a lot of, you know, botany videos are set up, because they're set up for, like, especially from out here, and there's really not many, and none are very popular. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, please, actually, if you know of a good botany channel that covers, you know, even not just New England, the Northeast, or even just the East Coast, man, I would appreciate that immensely. Just maybe not the South, because I mean, I'm not in the South, I'm in the Northeast. That guy, You know, sometimes he calls himself Joey, sometimes he calls himself Tony. I've kind of riffed on this in other videos. You know, he really has a special thing going, and I'm not trying to rip it off. I'm just trying to riff on it. I said this in another video that I may have even edited out of that video. That you know, I'm still a young guy. I'm only 25. You know, I don't know how old he is. Maybe he's in his like late 30s or early 40s. Although he's got a young kid, so I can't imagine he's much older than his 40s. Of course, now kid's probably not. Kid's probably a little bit older. I've been just listening to his podcast from around that time. I'm working my way backwards, so I digress. You know, I wish more people like that would come out to here. I think a lot of them are just put off by the fact that you have to. I mean, fuck, you have to see people out here. It's not out west. Some of them, it's not just him either. I've heard there's other people who, I watch a lot of trail running videos too with my partner, who's really into extreme distance running. I'm not. I mean, I run, but I don't do, you know, I run like 3 miles and then, you know, that's my exercise for the day. But I got to cut it off here. I just, you know, I wish more people like that would come out and do videos out here. And I mean it, if you watch to this point, you have my sincere gratitude. This is an addendum to the main video, I guess.